What's up? Welcome to Winners on a Wednesday. My name is Samuel Leeds, and this week I've got two fantastic guys. They are from Hong Kong and they've become financially free, quit their jobs, now moved to England, absolutely killing it. So please welcome onto the show, Ken and Jason. Good to have you guys with us.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you, Samuel.
So you came to the crash course and you were those people, I always say, if you've come from overseas, let me know where you're at, and you said we've come from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about why did you come to the crash course in the first place, and why did you want to get into property?
Maybe I'll start. So a bit of background. I actually saw one of the Winners on a Wednesday videos, and I think it was on Leslie's service accommodation, and I got in touch with her and found out a bit more about property. And we thought, we really need to do this. And we've got some contacts in Asia, we've got some contacts in the UK, and we can really make this work.
Yeah.
How about we just quit our jobs, go back to the UK, and just jump straight into it.
A big decision though.
Exactly. And our families are still there.
Yeah. So he told me about it, and I watched it. I thought, hey, hang on, I've actually got my own HMO property, which I've had since 2006.
Okay.
And I thought, hey, I could be doing the same thing, but
was that HMO property in England?
In England, in Hatfield.
And making a good profit?
Yeah, it's not too bad. So back then the property was on for 210,000. I'm now getting around 1,600 a month, only for 10 months, but still it's
okay.
It's a good return.
Student place, right?
Student place in Hatfield, right next to the.
How much is it worth
campus.
now, that house?
About 350.
Okay, so it's almost doubled in value.
Almost, yeah.
So you got a little bit of property experience there.
Yeah.
You're making some money, but then you're still in Hong Kong working as.
I was a financial planner in Hong Kong, so selling insurance and savings, just managing other people's finances, basically.
And what's your link? Are you business partners, friends, family?
So we're brothers, and so we're both directors within the company.
Sure.
Just ourselves. Yeah.
So what happened then? So you come to England, you come to the crash course.
So we came to the crash course, and wow, like we learned so much. I think we never really attended any property training courses, and the energy within the crash course was amazing. There's so many people to network with. We learned about return on investments, all the different investment strategies, including lease options. We learned how to sort of contact estate agents. You made us call up and made ourselves really uncomfortable, but we got comfortable learning from that experience.
Everything starts at the crash course, but it is so true. Everything does start there. You meet new friends, you learn new skills, and the crash course was where it all began. And then we've basically just picked up pace from there. I mean, Jason's been on the DFE and Never Use Your Own Money Again courses, but from there, pace has really picked up since March, basically. So,
let's just look at where we're at now. I know you guys are taking the world by storm at the moment.
Far from.
What have you achieved then since that crash course earlier this year, financially, property-wise? What's happened?
So since the crash course, which was February, I think it was about February the 22nd. It was. I literally landed on the 20th, so went straight to the crash course, and then from there we picked up our first source deal. It was a rent-to-service accommodation. It was a 3-bedroom house in Cambridge, and we fixed that up. We did everything ourselves. It was.
Is this one that you rented to rent out?
Yes.
So a rent to SA.
So we paid for that deal. We decided to do the renovations ourselves, all the painting, all the work inside, furnishings, and it took us just under 3 weeks.
Okay. And how much money did you put down in total for that? To do it up, the deposit, just the fee in total.
So the sourcing fee was $3,500.
Okay.
Bit pricey. In terms of renovation, it was a 3-bedroom house. We basically completed the whole project for slightly over $5,000. So all in, maybe 8.5.
And that's quite a lot of money to put down on a property that you don't own, right?
Of course, yeah.
But how's it going now?
Now, that took us about 3 weeks. Our first full month was in April. We made profit of slightly over $1,500.
Very, very strong.
First in April. In May, it was slightly over £2,000,
Wow.
and then the profit again. And then in June, we amazingly got a 1 month booking for the whole month.
Yeah, so
Nice.
there's a tenant in there right now,
Yeah,
staying
right
for
now.
the whole month.
And that's going to make us £2,500 profit.
That's incredible. I bet the saucers are almost kicking themselves now for not keeping it themselves.
No, well, we're still in contact with them,
Yeah.
and they're very happy for us. So yeah, we keep on asking them, if you've got more deals like this,
I
pass
bet.
them out.
I bet. But you've now gone on to start finding your own deals like that.
Yes.
So what else have you done since after that deal?
So since then, we've also managed to source our own deals. We've been on obviously your training.
Yeah.
We've learned how to get in contact with landlords like Gumtree or other methods.
Yeah.
And it was a direct landlord deal. It's a 2-bedroom penthouse in Cambridge.
Nice.
And even better was that the landlord mentioned there was 5 other people that actually approached her, but they decided to give us a deal because we obviously had more. We knew what words to say, how to approach them, and how to present ourselves and appear professional.
That's the thing. There's so many people trying to do rent to rent that don't know the correct contracts to use. They don't know about the legalities and the compliance of it. They don't carry themselves well. They don't know how to sell and how to speak to people. So, whereas when you come along,
Yes.
and you've got that Asian charisma, but more importantly, you've got the right knowledge, you're saying the right things.
Yeah.
You're absolutely streets ahead suddenly.
Yeah. And yeah, she gave us the deal, and yeah, we've that's just gone live for slightly less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we've turned over around 3-4K.
It's incredible. So you've clearly got a knack for finding these rent-to-rent deals and knowing what works and what doesn't. I mean, sometimes you don't hear the stories of the rent-to-rent deals that go wrong, but then
true.
it happens. It does happen where
Absolutely.
people take on deals, they fall through, or they take them on, they pay a lot of money down, and then they can't rent them out in the way that they thought. How do you know, from all your experience and all that you've learned in doing this over the past few months, how do you identify the difference between a good deal and a bad deal?
Due diligence, as we always say, is most important. You've got to do your research, you've got to know the area, and sometimes you might get it wrong, but the more research you do, the less likely you're going to screw up. And education, as we've always been saying, is the main thing. So if you don't know the area, you pay to get that info, either through someone who's based in that area, or just physically going to that area, speaking to the estate agents, finding out what demand is like in certain areas of that city or town.
Could also add, actually, also from your training, you've also advised us to have an exit strategy.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, like what we did with the first house, that was a 3-bedroom house. Basically, we've got a 3rd property coming along as well. So we're picking up the keys later today. And that was direct. Yeah, that was a 4-bedroom house, direct to estate agent.
Yeah.
Again, through building up that network and playing your cards right.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, if there was any changes, we've got a position where we could a plan B,
Like a break clause, for instance,
break
or
clause.
renting it out in a different way.
or
Exactly.
we could rent them out as individual rooms and still make money.
Yeah.
So we've got a backup plan. So I think that's really important from the training, and
That's great, and I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. Tell me a bit about, I know you've got a lot of people back home in Hong Kong who are interested in property as well and are wanting to come and invest in England. What's the best thing to do for a Hong Kong investor that doesn't know the English market at all? How do you break into the UK market as a Hong Kong investor?
Do you want to take that?
Okay. Well, I think for any foreign investor, whether they're from Hong Kong or any other part of the world, they really do need someone who they can trust, who knows the market well and certain areas which are a good return on investment, because at the end of the day, it's a business for us, it's an investment for them. They need to make sure that their money is being well spent. So we were born in the UK, but we've been away for I've been away for 10 years. Jason's been away for 7.
So you know the UK really well.
I think we're sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I think we're in a great position because we both grew up in the UK. We both bought our properties here. So Ken bought his house in Hatfield. I bought my 2-bedroom flat in Stratford, in London. And we're both very aware of the process of buying a house in UK.
Yeah.
And then we also managed to buy our properties in Hong Kong. So we're really, we're knowledgeable of both sides of the market, and also of the returns and the capital appreciation that you could get from Hong Kong as well.
Yeah.
And at the moment, like, prices are ridiculously high. And if you really want your money to grow and to get a good cash flow from it, then UK investing in HMOs like you teach people, that's a fantastic opportunity.
What's the market like in Hong Kong?
For a new build, you're looking at maybe £2,500 per square foot, so that's £25,000 per square metre. So your typical 2-bedroom, 400 square foot flat is about 450,000, half mil.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So that's London prices, I guess.
For sure.
And that's all over Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you reach up to the mid-levels or more prominent areas, you're looking at double that.
I know you get a lot of people from Hong Kong reaching out to you guys for advice and stuff like that, and you offer support, which is great. Would you recommend investing in Hong Kong, or is it just not feasible? How would I get on doing the FF challenge in Hong Kong?
You would struggle, I'd say. That's a challenge.
Is that a challenge?
That is a challenge. I would love to see you in Hong Kong doing it.
Absolutely.
Actually, when we were watching the Financial Freedom Challenge, we were like, I wonder how Samuel would do in Hong Kong, because it's a really tough market. Obviously, the language is slightly different.
Yeah. I've never even been to Hong
You
Kong.
can get by without Chinese, actually.
Yeah.
Your English is fine.
I have a lot. There's a lot of Hong Kong investors that come to the crash course.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty much every crash course.
Yeah, I think we had a few on the crash course that we went to
Every
as well.
time. There's people flying in.
Yeah.
Which is just, why do you think people do that? Why do they fly in? I mean, I know the crash course is good, but why do you think that happens?
I think with property, if they're even getting 4% from their buy-to-lets, they're happy.
Yeah.
So if you're telling them invest in an HMO up north or in the Midlands in the UK, you're going to get 20% or however much return on investment. That's going to attract to them.
They'll take a trip.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Hong Kong is one of the places where we get most of our overseas people come.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing a crash course in Hong Kong. Maybe you could join me.
That would be fantastic. I'd love to.
I think it would go down really well there.
I'd love to. But I think also it's the barriers to entry, which is also an issue. Like I said, if a flat is it's 4.5 million Hong Kong dollars, which is about 450,000 sterling. The deposit you would need is about 30%. So, in order to have that sort of money, a regular working person struggles. Whereas in the UK, if you can still buy a property for, say, 150,000, your 30%, well, we don't even need 30%.
What would you recommend someone's doing then? If they're living in Hong Kong and they've got, say, £50,000, obviously in their bank it will be different, it'll be different currency. Would they be better off to buy a HMO or to do rent-to-rents? Like, what would your advice be?
I think it really does depend on the individual investor. If they're looking for good cash flow, then rent to SA would be a good idea. But in terms of stability and long-term investments, I think HMOs is the way to go for them. But it really does depend on the individual investor.
I know that on our training, rent to rent is just one small part of the strategy of what we teach. Have you applied, or are you going to apply any of the other stuff around investments and property entrepreneurship that you've learned on the crash course and the deal finding extravaganza?
Yes, of course. So we've already set up our deal sourcing company.
Brilliant. How's that going?
At the moment, we're still finding the perfect patch. Although, it shouldn't spend too long finding like an area.
But you've got to get the right properties in the right area.
Exactly.
You can't sell something to someone else unless you buy it yourself, right?
Of course. And we've been on viewings, but we're trying to find the deals and then package it up and sell it to our investors.
Great.
That's the next step of the business plan.
And what are your long-term goals? What are your long-term goals in property? Your brothers, you've both quit your jobs. You're technically financially free. I mean, which is great. I mean, the fact that you're making a full-time income more than in property, and you're doing such a short space of time is absolutely commendable. What are your long-term goals?
Yeah, so we really want to sort of obviously keep on working on the SA side of the business, but at the same time we really want to start on the deal sourcing and actually pass on these amazing deals that you could get in the UK. to our Asian investors out in Hong Kong, China.
What kind of deals are you looking to pass on?
Mainly HMOs.
Sure, because I always find it strange. Enlighten me. Why, if you've got an SA, I guess it's probably because you've put down £8,000 for one deal. So, but
the second one we only put in £1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's making we're already making turning over 3-4k.
Wow.
Yeah, within.
My question is, if people are packaging and selling rent to SA deals, why would they pass it on when they could just keep it themselves and it's so little money down?
Because there's a lot of management on the handling of the bookings, the day-to-day running with the cleaners. Because at the moment we're still handling it ourselves. I think as we grow and maybe hit about 4 or 5,
sure,
we'll outsource that side. And
so people might be thinking, you know what, this is going to take a few £1,000s. Rather than spending a few thousand and then getting a really good return, I'd rather pass on the opportunity and just get some quick cash. Or it might be a case of, I've already got 5 or 6. I don't really want any more SAs. I manage them myself. I've got a nice little setup. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, cool. So what would be the biggest, if you were talking to someone who was just brand new to property, that was looking at doing rent to rents like what you've done, you pretty much, I mean, I know you had some experience in property because you bought a HMO, but rent to rent was a brand new thing to you guys. Had you heard of it before you started watching my videos?
We'd heard of subletting, which is obviously not the right way to go about it. But I mean, my previous investment experience is very amateur, if I would call it that, because I bought the house, I let the agent take care of it, and I didn't know anything about it basically. Other than a bulb needed changing or the locks needed changing, and they asked me whether it was okay to go ahead with it. But now this time round, it's more hands-on and getting finding the property via a sourcer or the landlord or the estate agent. And we've been quite fortunate to be able to do all 3 and have experience of the 3 different ways of finding a property. But in terms of investing in SAs, we all know that it's not all roses. There are a lot of pitfalls, there are a lot of issues with getting one, running one, and keeping it going and keeping the standards there as well.
It's like any business. It's always going to have its obstacles and its hardships. What's been the biggest challenge that you've had then with running your SA business, service accommodation?
I think it's actually more, you slowly move actually from property to hospitality. Because you're trying to actually constantly make sure the service is really up to scratch. The reviews are so important, as you will know, and like one bad review and then you could get a drop in bookings, and I think trying to control the hospitality side and at the same time trying to grow your business is the challenge that we're sort of facing at the moment. But at the moment we're hitting 80% occupancy, so it's really good. So
very, very high. I mean, in regards to areas, you've chosen Cambridge. Would you ever source or recommend any other areas? Have you done much research on England or the UK as a whole, or are you just literally Cambridge and that's? For
rent to SA, we thought we know the area, we know there's high demand, and it's working. So I think I think the idea was the rent to SA was just to supplement our previous income, get us going, so we could fully focus on property sourcing and buy, refurbish, refinance.
How does it feel to be full-time in property in the UK?
It's amazing, honestly. Quitting my job and diving straight into this and being your own boss gives you so much freedom.
I've always been in sales in terms of my working life, and my previous job, working as a financial advisor, I was self-employed, so I was working for myself. I was my own boss, but it's not quite the same as being in property, because property is tangible. I'm working for myself now rather than for someone else. And I'm still applying a lot of the concepts of my insurance sales to property, because
people skills, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Ultimately, money comes from people. In any business.
I mean, the property might sell itself, but ultimately, it's the people who make the difference.
Absolutely.
So if they don't like you, they may not want to talk to you any further. So they've got to like you. You've got to be able to connect to people and know what they want. So when we speak to other, be it a landlord, be it an investor, we got to know what they want. We've got to provide the solution to their problem before we can actually have any sort of business dealing.
What would be the biggest sort of lesson then, if you were advising your your 12-month younger selves that were in Hong Kong, about to go on the crash course, what would be the biggest lesson that you'd give them and advice?
So I've forgotten whether it was your book or Alistair's book. I read the line, "The best things in life is on the other side of fear."
Yeah, that was me, I think.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would absolutely love that. And every time you take a really risky decision, you'll find a way to work it out. You'll find a solution to every problem, and so far, there's going to be obstacles in everyday life and within property as well. And
we've taken massive risk. You know, the fact that you've left your jobs or businesses and you've moved country on the basis that you're going to go out and do property. Yeah, it's worked for you. You've landed on your feet because you've had the right training and you've taken the right action and you've had the right belief.
Yeah.
You know, right from the get-go. I remember at the DFE. I remember with yourself, Jason. Yeah. You know, your mentality, both of you, is very much just like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not a case of, you know, some people, they go on the crash course and they cross their fingers, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the crash course. I hope this works. But it's not about, I hope it does work.
Yeah.
It works, but you have to work.
Yeah.
It is not a lottery ticket.
No.
Exactly.
And you guys came from Hong Kong like, this is going to work. We're going to do this, but we're just going to help get resourced and get tools to help us along on the journey, which we're going to do anyway. I kind of feel like, and I know you're humble guys, and you'll credit me in the training and everything, which, of course, I know that's played a massive part. But the bottom line is, you've stepped out and you've with an attitude of, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And when you do that, the right people just get alongside you anyway, I feel.
I'd like to think that as well. I think another bit of advice, if I was to give myself or any other person, like 12 months ago, is to keep it simple and be simple-minded. Because the more you think about it, the less likely you're going to do it, because there's so much self-doubt embedded in us and in our everyday lives, basically. So, like we say, if you want to do it, just say yes and then think of how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You got to believe in yourself.
That's Richard Branson who says that. If an opportunity presents itself, say yes, then figure the details later. And you guys are clearly living testimonies of that. Just figuring it out, doing it and figuring it out. So that's great.
And also, just immerse yourself into property. Like we really just told people what we're going to do. And announced on Facebook that we're going to quit our jobs. We're going to go back to UK to do this. And so many contacts have just come through, and basically we're doing joint ventures with them. I had a colleague, because I used to be an accountant, and basically he was in the treasury team. We worked together, and it turns out that he's now a chartered surveyor, and he's got an architect that works with him, and we're doing a JV together for a Nottingham project. It was a refurbish of a commercial property.
Great.
Our uncle, my uncle, who owns quite a few commercial properties, he sort of mentioned about he didn't know what to do with his property, and we sort of got in touch, and now we're submitting the planning application now, and we're going to convert that into a 6 to hopefully 8 bedroom.
Wow.
Eight apartments. 8
2-bedroom apartments.
Wow, massive.
So currently it's a 3-story, I think it was an ex-pub, with a single-story kind of storage area. But potentially that could be 4 stories high and 2 separate apartments on each level.
That's great.
So it's
let me ask you a question. With the training that you've done on the crash course, deal finding extravaganza, what have been the biggest sort of takeaways, the biggest lessons that you've learned?
Again, just take action.
Yeah.
And
because I literally force you to book viewings and stuff.
Exactly.
I think most people have probably not done that, because I mean, if you bought a property, you booked your own viewings, but you're going there to buy. But this time around it's completely different, and you're looking for a property. You might be buying it in the end, but you don't really know, and you're a little bit scared.
You've got to get in front of people, though, haven't you?
Yeah,
exactly.
You've got to get in front of people.
And
I say on the deal finding extravaganza, he who books the most viewings wins. Him who puts the most offers in wins, and you've done that. I mean, you've done absolutely phenomenally well. So it's great to see you smashing it. I hope to see you continue, and I wish you all the best with the different ventures and stuff that you've got on. And great, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks very much.
Awesome, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Good job. If you are from Hong Kong, Asia, or overseas, and you're thinking, can I really do this? Is this possible? You've seen it yourself firsthand. It absolutely is possible. So get yourself booked on some training, watch more stories, be inspired, take action, and I look forward to seeing you next time.